Good morning, everybody. It's quite early. It's quite cold. It's below freezing. Still dark out. We're going to get started on cleaning up that Z24 engine that we took out of that hard body. It's all over the floor on my bench, and it's very dirty. So I'm going to start off with cleaning this bench up and trying to organize what's here, and we'll go from there. So last time I ultrasonic cleaned a lot of these brackets, got all the gunk off of them. Don't know why they're blue. They're ready for sandblasting. The wood stove is not only keeping me warm, but it is getting ready to boil some simple green to put in the little ultrasonic cleaner, which right now I have all of the oil pan bolts in, the front pulley stuff, that spins the oil pump and the distributor, that's the timing chain. That's the oil slinger or something. Bolt, can't remember what that big bolt's from actually. This is that like vacuum distributor. That's the timing mark thing that bolts on the front of the motor. It's just so dirty you can't tell. Distributor shaft, and then the upper timing gear for the head. We're gonna do all this stuff first. So here is your look at it right now. So here's everything out of the cleaner. Obviously this was dark brown, all this stuff was dark brown. These two bronze gears, I kind of forgot they were bronze. They turned white. It's still strong, it's not soft, it's not brittle, it's not like chipping off on the surface or anything. I think I can clean these up with some vinegar and a little bit of olive oil. I've read that that's how you clean bronze. We'll see how that works, but all the bolts are cleaned up. I remember this is the cam gear bolt. I don't know how I forgot, but that looks fantastic. Oil slinger looks brand new. This is still a little corroded, but a lot of this stuff will just get, you know, brushed. Also, most of these hose clamps are rusted to ruin, so I have to get the grinder in here and just kind of snip these off, get the hoses off so I can get ready to tank these too. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this stuff in while I'm at it. You can see nice and gross in there. These are all corroded. It's supposed to be aluminum, so it should be kind of light gray and shiny. And same thing with here. This one's actually super cruddy, and it's kind of broken, so we're gonna see how bad that is once all the grease is off of it. And now all the head components are gonna go in, and we will see how they clean up, because they're nice and dirty too. This is something I should have done to the KA in my truck, and I just never did. The truck's stealing my thunder. We all want to know what it is.
It's your gift.
Ew, it's so... Merry Christmas. It's so scummy. Alright, let's pull this out. Oh wow! They're like brand new. Oh, simple green. That looks pretty good. I might move them around a little bit and run them for another couple minutes, but I'm genuinely impressed with that. What the hell? What are you doing? So these turned out really, really well. All the rockers look clean, springs are clean, bolts are clean. This head's gonna look really, really nice when it goes back together. Look at how gross this fluid is after a couple parts. Again, it's simple green. It's normally green. This is, I guess, simple brown now. Look at all the stuff it pulled off of those parts. That's gross. Alright, I got this head sitting here, dripping all the oil on the table so I can wipe it up. I'm gonna go ahead and take all the valves out so I can go ahead and hot tank them, and the springs and retainers and all that. So this kind of cracks me up. Every time I get all the grease and grime off a bracket, it's always blue. They had the engine painted blue, so it just looks black because it's so dirty. But anyway, head is stripped now. That probably only took 20 minutes. That was actually really quick compared to like the VQ heads I did. Here it is, all brown and grimy. All right, I'm trying to do a final look around, make sure I didn't miss anything, because the truck is loaded up. Obviously you can tell it's pretty late. Well, it's not super late, it's just dark. It's winter. It could be 4:30 right now. Anyway, I got all of the engine block head, you know, crank all the cams, big stuff that needs to be tanked. I got the hot tank, I got an empty propane bottle, I got an almost empty propane bottle, I got the crane. I got the whole setup to hot tank. We're going to another location to do this because it's too cold. I mean, right now and for the next solid week, it's in the 20s, the low 20s during the day, and at night it'll get down into single digits, you know, 8-9 degrees. It's too cold for me to be hot tanking, especially the painting. After I pull everything out of the hot tank clean, I throw a coat of paint on everything so it doesn't rust or corrode. It's too cold for it. I can't do it. Even with the wood stove going as hard as it can, with this not being insulated, I can get it to maybe 50, 55 degrees, maybe 60. Not when it's 20 though. When it's 20, I might be able to get to 50 tops. I can't paint in that weather, so I'm gonna go to a heated shop for a day or two, get this stuff all cleaned up. It makes the tank more efficient because I don't have to heat it up from freezing, and get everything cleaned, scrubbed, and painted. So, see you there tomorrow morning. So I'm actually here where I work after hours. Hot tank is here, building is heated, most importantly. And this is where we're gonna do my hot tank stuff. Like I said, it's so cold out. I'm literally gonna use an extra tank of propane just to get this thing to boil. So this place is heated anyway, whether we're using it or not. So let's look at these parts. So we have our intake, we have the head, the cam, and the rocker arm shafts, crankshaft, the valve cover, whatever this plate is called that goes between the engine and the transmission, oil pan, and then I think that's a coolant return line that goes into the block, or an oil return line. I can't remember. And then the oil pickup tube. And then last but not least, we have our block. So 4.5 hours in, still not boiling, but that's not surprising. It takes about 6, 7 to get it boiling. Oh. But you can see this is turning black. Obviously oil floats on top of water. So the fact that all this is black means even though it's not boiling yet, all those parts are releasing that, you know, gas, oil, blow by, mixy stuff that's stuck on the surface of them. And that's a good sign. So the barrel is at 171 degrees. It's been heating for 5.5 hours. Now, it probably takes a while because I don't turn the heat up insanely high. I'm trying to save a little bit of gas and not have flames shooting up around the side of the barrel, so I could probably get there a lot quicker, and honestly, it might be more efficient. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I'm gonna let this sit tonight in the heated building. It should probably still be around 100 degrees by tomorrow. I'll heat it up for another couple of hours, but this stuff will be able to soak very, very long, still be hot. All right, well, let's head to work, and hopefully the tank is still decently warm. All right, so we're back. It's about 4 a.m. and the barrel is actually right where I expected it. I thought it would be, or at least I hoped it would be, about 110, and we're just under that. So she's still warm 12 hours later. I didn't think it was gonna come through the hose that fast. Oh God, petrol. They're so much cleaner, and like 30 years of truck dirt. Oh God. less unpleasant to siphon gasoline and get it in your mouth. Oh God, I'm gonna throw up. Oh, I can't think about it. Like, it's not that bad if I don't think about it. It's making my stomach pretty queasy. I gotta wash my mouth out some more. Oh, I didn't expect that to happen today. Whatever happens, I could not let this siphon stop because I'm not doing that twice. I almost, like, I can't get the taste out of my mouth. Like, the back of my throat just feels like it's on fire. I did get 130-degree Simple Green, but when I burp, it tastes like oil. So I get to deal with that for like 12 more hours. So you actually see the surface of this is pretty clean. There's a lot of dirt that sits on the stuff though. Like, this is gonna need sandblasted, which I knew, but much cleaner. You can see there's shiny black paint. Sorry, I'm losing my voice from drinking Simple Green. Anyway, if we look in the tank, I mean, look at the head. See how shiny? Let me take the light off of it, but see how shiny the head is. I mean, look at, I mean, all that loose dirt. See, that dirt just smears right off. It's just sitting there. On the block, you can see more of that blue paint just arising. Over here, some more blue paint. Crank isn't brown as far as I can see, so give it a good scrub. I power washed it last time when I did the VQ, but I think what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to use the hot water that's left. That's getting kind of full. And scrub everything, and then use my sprayer, spray everything down. And that way, using a hot degreaser, it evaporates, like I've said before, instead of water. Like when I power washed, everything was just wet. It was wet for days. So we'll see if this works. It's only my second time running a hot tank. It's my first time drinking Simple Green though. Now, to be honest, this is the first time I did a crankshaft, and looking at all the colors on it, I'm not sure I actually did it any good. I didn't damage it. Everything's still really smooth. But, I mean, it is clean, so it's not hurt, but it is really odd that everything looks like that now. I just want to know, why is this blue? Like the whole engine, as every piece I got gunk off, it was blue. Even the head over there has some blue on it. Like, why? Like, who? I don't know. It came out of a red truck. Like, what kind of look were they going for? I don't know. At least it's clean now. All right, we're all packed up, heading the cranker, hiding in the truck. Got my tools and my tripod. Got everything we brought. There's a lot of parts in that bin. And the block is wrapped up so it stays clean. I decided not to paint it here. I'll do it a little bit later. And we're on the way home. It's Friday. So I'm actually really surprised. Some of this blue paint is holding up to the wire brush on the angle grinder. So honestly, just hand brushing it, it'll be a decent base for the next layer of paint, because an angle grinder's not even taking it off. So that paint is obviously on there pretty well. Obviously there's still a little rust, so I gotta go across and hand brush all of this stuff. And I'm gonna sit in front of the fireplace for a while. Not the fireplace, that's the stove. Sit in front of the stove for a while, get this thing nice and warm. The paint is sitting in that metal tin over there. That pot, it's warming up to, I don't even know how hot it is. It's hot on my hands. It's probably 120, 130 degrees. Paint doesn't need to be that hot, but it'll cool off when I pull it out. Honestly, spraying with really hot paint and a really warm part makes a really nice finish, I've found, for stuff like this, especially with high temp paint. It's meant to be hot anyway. And before I paint it, go across it with the torch. Make sure you get all the moisture out of all the pores. You'll watch the metal kind of change color as you hit it with the flame. Then it's ready for the base primer, high temp primer, and then the high temp black that we're going to spray this in. So let's see if we can document the change of what happens when you get this stuff hot with the torch. See how it changes color. Getting all the moisture off the surface. I'm going to finish torching the surface of this. Everything's all taped up. Throw a coat of engine enamel primer on it, which I have yet to use. I've never used the primer. And it's going to get black. Also, I make my paint hot because it's like 32 degrees outside. So this got to be hot, that's got to be hot, and then I can paint. If they're not, well, you know what happens when you paint when it's cold. Good. Take a look. This thing is primed up. Looking nice. This is all good. So, just going to give it a couple minutes to dry. It dries really fast over here by the... Yes, I know, I'm spraying inside. This building leaks like a colander. I mean, the smell is already gone and I just sprayed it. So, anyway, that blowing hot air on this and that paint being hot dries within 2 minutes. Like, you can touch it within almost 30 seconds if it's a thin coat. Thick coat, 2 minutes. So, well, the paint's still semi-wet. We'll see if it tames down once it dries, but I kind of didn't expect the gloss black to be that gloss black once it was on the cast material. You can see it's kind of rough. That's from the casting. But yeah, wow. It'll look cool when it's done. I'm not complaining. Of course, one little piece stayed and ruined my shot. Really? With these? Come on. Give me a clean peel. I don't know about you, but I think that looks a lot better. I think it also looks like I know how to mask a lot better than whoever painted this thing blue. You still see the blue, meaning I didn't make the same mistake. So now that in the last video we set up that powder coat room, I just got all this stuff closed up because I sandblasted a couple brackets. We're gonna hang them on this rack. The oven is warming up so I can degas them real quick, because this was a really greasy engine. This is the last one we did. It actually turned out really well. It has a little bit of a texture, but that also is because it was pretty rusty. I mean, everything on this engine was pretty rusty. So I'm working on the freeze plugs right now. I have all the freeze plugs out, and I've been getting huge amounts of gross coolant, dried up junk out of the engine, and I decided to take this cover off that sits here so I can clean it. And hidden behind it was this, I assumed, since this is the crankcase vent down here, they I guess wanted to filter it a little bit. I thought this looked kind of like homemade and kind of janky, but upon investigation on the internet, it took me 30 seconds to figure out that this is just a factory piece. So the late 80s for Nissan was weird. Stuff's gonna go in the ultrasonic cleaner. Hopefully it does something to this. Alright, these turned out pretty good. They could be replated, it would look perfect, but it's very, very clean. This is all just kind of like aging of the metal, but I mean, it's spotless as far as what's on the surface, so it's good to go back in the engine. And this is the biggest transformation. You can like see through the screen again. There's a little bit of browning on it still, to be totally honest, but all the clumps of stuff, it's all gone. Alright guys, I think this is a good place to stop this video. The short block is ready to start getting built. I have pretty much everything cleaned. I got this big heavy container of stuff that's ready to go off for zinc plating. It's ironic to me that I'm doing this level of build for the first time on a skid steer. Not one of my cars, not a customer's car, a skid steer. So anyway, next video, we're gonna start the short block build. You know, bearings, crank, pistons, get all that stuff ready, start building the head. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Calling to say I